Growing up, I had plenty of Holy Grail songs, but the one I listened to on repeat at age 13 was, and still is, a challenge to play. The song was performed by one of the greatest British bands to ever exist, Queen, and the song, the unforgettable, otherworldly Innuendo. Now, Innuendo was released in 1991 and unfortunately is the last record Freddie Mercury worked on before passing. It remains one of Queen's most ambitious tracks, combining flamenco, progressive rock, and symphonic elements. The part we're checking out today is the flamenco part, hence this beautiful classical guitar. Whether you know the song or not, you might recognize the style. This section of the song moves around the beautiful Andalusian Cadence, a chord progression deeply rooted in the flamenco tradition of southern Spain. It's a minor chord progression that moves diatonically from 1 to 7 to 6 and to a dominant 5 or a major 5. So in the key of A minor, the Andalusian cadence is A minor, G major, F major, and E major. You can spice up the E major by bringing it just a half step up and back down. Now this is a beautiful F major 7th, sharp 11 with the E on the bass. Now, when the band was working on the song in 1990, Brian May had already recorded all the electric guitar parts, but wasn't sure about playing the same riff on a classical guitar. Maybe he wasn't feeling it that day on that classical guitar. And so he called Steve Howe, who was the guitar player of the band Yes, to play not only the main riff, but also all the solos you hear on the record. And this riff is pure magic. Now, I love how with the Andalusian cadence, you can play the same riff starting on each root note of the chord. So for the A minor, you have the riff on the A. And then you'll do the same thing for the other chords. G major, the riff starts on the note G. F major, and for the E major and F major 7, sharp 11 over E, we're gonna use the harmonic minor scale. In this section, the time signature changes twice, and one of the reasons why this part is so amazingly written is because you almost don't even notice it. There are 3 bars in 5/4 followed by 5 measures in 3/4. Now, I'm guilty of playing this riff wrong my entire life. I checked a dozen different tabs online and plenty of videos, and there is one rhythmic aspect of this song that almost everyone seems to be missing, and it makes such a huge difference. Let me explain. Here's how I used to play the riff. So a quaver followed by 2 semi-quavers, bum ba ba bum, and then we land on that next note, bum ba ba bum. But here's the original. It looks like I was missing one note, because on the record I hear a quiver followed by a triplets of 3 semi-quivers. Pam, pa 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 pam. And that makes this way better, but also incredibly more challenging to play. Because now the phrase ends with a nap stroke, and it doesn't feel quite natural. Now this took me quite a while to figure out. We're going from the note A on the 6th string to the A on the 2nd string, playing every single note in between. Let me show you that slowly. So we're going from A to A here, and we're passing through all the notes. This is called the chromatic scale. It's a scale that includes all the notes in music, moving in the smallest possible steps, called half steps. Now, think of it like playing every white and black key on a piano from A to the next note A. And on the guitar, it means moving fret by fret without skipping any. And in this section, it's broken down into 4 notes per string. So I'm going A sharp, B, and C. Then I'll move on to the next note, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp. Now here I really like to stay on the 4th string and change to A on fret 7, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and E, and then F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and A. Now here's the part I absolutely love, harmonizing this incredible melody. And once again, we're caught by surprise by the sheer brilliance of Queen's genius. This time the riff is played 1 octave lower, but they've added another layer of magic. It's also harmonized a third above. At this point, Steve Howe launches into one of the most iconic solos ever, gliding across the fretboard with devilish precision. Honestly, trying to replicate it exactly as he plays it on the record is pretty wild, especially on a regular classical guitar. So I decided to play it 1 octave lower. That made it way easier to play. Now what I love about the solo is how fluid it sounds, with those melodic patterns fitting beautifully in 5/4 time as well as 3/4 time. I also made a slight adjustment to the phrasing on the E chord. So here's how I played it. Let's play it slowly. It starts on the offbeat. So this is E major. And then for the A minor, pentatonic, and then the natural minor scale. Beautiful phrase. Now G major, F major, now we're in 3/4. Let's play it slightly faster. How long did it take me to learn this part? Well, I'll say 5 days practicing consistently for about an hour each day. The key is knowing the target speed, 148 BPM for this section, and starting much lower, like around 110 BPM, and then gradually working your way up. Even at a slower tempo, it's essential to play with the same intensity as you were, playing at full speed. So here's my take on this masterpiece. Don't forget to check out my Patreon page for extra support tabs and sound slice tabs. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts. Do you like innuendo? I loved it as a kid and I still love it now. It's still challenging to play. So let me know your thoughts. Enjoy this video and I'll see you next time.